Hi everybody, I'm Sean from Sweetman Media, and today we're going to be taking a deep dive into the visuals for Might Eye's Endless Giving on Position Obscure recordings. So creating that environment really starts with the album artwork, and then obviously listening to the music and seeing what the inspiration is from those two elements and what kind of amalgamation can I find by fusing those ideas. Jared Lawrence Studios, who created the album artwork, does a really great job at evoking the emotions of the music and really giving me a jumping off point for figuring out what kind of 3D environment can I create. All right, so let's take a look. So Blender allows you to create 3D environments using procedural generation to create models and textures. And when I was first starting to do renders, we were kind of on the same page of creating this Atlantis abstract structure. I thought, well, we could have this structure underwater like a traditional Atlantis, but I really wanted to have more of a cohesive visual by placing it all above water, while simultaneously giving it more of this fantastical, abstract feel. So something that was really important to me was to create a structure that had a lot of depth. Something that we could kind of go inside and navigate and unveil piece by piece to the audience without giving away the entire environment. So the first step was really to figure out what were going to be the best textures for the environment. So it's really as easy as setting a couple of parameters and setting your metallic setting all the way up and a little bit of specularity and turning your roughness down to create even more shine and to see, the HDRI that you eventually import. An HDRI is what you use to create the 360-degree image of your environment. So in our case, it was clouds here. So as you kind of spin around, you see that you have clouds from any angle that you put your camera in. What that HDRI also does is creates more realistic reflections for those structures inside of your render. And your HDRI, that 360-degree image that you import, gives you a lot of lighting information in your environment. So something I did here was I took a cone lamp and I projected it onto the geometry so I could kind of create that same exact lighting that was portrayed in Jared's original artwork. So something else we have here with lighting and modeling actually is this series of archways that you eventually make your way through till you get to our obelisk at the end. Something that was really popular with one of our last videos, Parcels, Everything I Wanted. The audience moves through this tunnel with these lit white archways that you eventually end up in space. And so I kind of wanted to create something similar to that to create a lot of continuity through our content. So what we did here is I created like a series of gradually growing arches, and each is separately lit with a different bulb and a different color. Creating water is actually pretty easy as long as you know the parameters to create the water that you want to render. So it's really as easy as taking a flat plane and eventually giving it the simulation of water using procedural generation. For this project, we probably didn't need the most realistic looking water. Blender can output water that looks more realistic than this, but for what we were doing, the sort of soft look worked for us really well. Thanks a lot for joining us, and for more of my work, visit Sean Sweetman on Instagram or Sweetman Media on Facebook.